Well, it snowed last night. Today I'm going to work on expanding the geothermal. So it's about 16 feet long now, and I plan to double that on the other side. I built that geothermal for under 200 bucks. Building supplies have gone up in cost now, but all it is 1.5 PVCs just bent over a hole, and then I built a wooden frame to hold those in place. On the back side of the existing geothermal, I had a guy come out and help me dig out this hole so that I, don't have to dig it by hand. And I'm just going to expand that. So on the sides here, he went a little too wide. So I'll just have to come in with I'm going to put in some boards and build kind of a retaining wall, fill that back in, and then I'll pound rebar at an angle on both sides. And then about every, I don't know, is that every maybe 4 feet, I'll put PVC across and bring that all the way out, and then I'll build a frame, kind of an A-frame like that at this end, and then run 2x4s across to hold everything in place. And down in here we're going to build an aquaponic system. That's actually going to be the grow bed, and I'll build it up so that it's standing high, and I'll put in a 500-gallon tank underneath it. Currently, I'm entered in the Big Hero contest to win a 1-year mule deer tag and $25,000. You guys have kept me in first place in my group. So it started out with 100, then it narrowed down to 20 in my group. And I don't know how many other groups there are. There's got to be at least 4 or 5 other groups, I think. And so those have been being narrowed down. And in a few days, it's going to be narrowed down to the top 15 for each group, and then each of those groups are going to compete to win the contest. If you have a minute to go over and vote for free, that'd be awesome. And if you'd prefer, you can donate. So they're paid votes, $1 per vote, and the donation goes to wildlife conservation. So that's pretty cool. You can hit the link below to learn more about it. It'd be really awesome if you guys would help me possibly win the contest. I'd be super grateful. And well, let's get back to the video. I finished digging my new cistern as well, so as soon as I can, I'll get this covered up. And I also bought rain gutter. So this side of the agricultural harvests rainwater, and it's just using a piece of flashing, which isn't nearly as efficient as a rain gutter. And the other side of the shop is the same way. So I should have enough gutter to run a real gutter down that side of the shop and the agriculture, and that side already has a real gutter on it. I also purchased some more of the corrugated steel so that this side on the agricultural shed, I have about a 10-foot by 10-foot gym inside here, and clearly this tarp is getting whipped around, so I'm going to just put corrugated up this side here, and that'll close it in a little bit better so that I don't get snowed on and blown away this winter. I have more plastic on the way to completely wrap this hoop house, but I went ahead and put on 2 layers of plant fabric in hopes of most of this stuff doing okay. And today I better close off these doors if I can. Out here, there's not much I could do. I could have probably covered these, but this will probably be bad because this is ice. But we'll see what happens. My toes are cold already, so I figured it's a good time to fire up the wood burning stove. So I have 45s I was only able to get 10-foot pieces of the 1.5-inch PVC. So I'll glue each end into one of these 45s and let it dry. before I install them. And the other half of the Geo, I don't even have any of these. I couldn't get a hold of any because it's a 4-hour round trip drive to go to the city to get stuff like this. So these will help. And then of course I got the caps for the rain gutters and the braces and the downspout attachment. And well, you can't go wrong with, I notice I always use, if I have some rebar wire, I always use it. There's so many uses. And then I grabbed a couple pieces to help me piece together my IBC totes, so I can attach this to one end. You know, I got a 90, and then I have other pieces so that I can, you know, connect several IBC totes. So when it rains, it's like having one big tank instead of just a bunch of separate tanks. I've been working on piecing together the IBC totes for quite a while because, like I said, it's 4 hours. You know, when I lived in the city, I'd go to Home Depot, grab some parts, get home and realize I needed to go back for more parts. And I don't go to the city often, so it's been a long process, getting all the right IBC parts, because each IBC tote has a different thread and whatnot on the front of the container. And yeah, it's just been kind of a pain. It'd be ideal if you could just get all the same IBC totes. The dogs sure seem to enjoy these houses. You can feel the heat coming out from them just being in there breathing. Digging the hole turned out to be kind of difficult to make it perfectly square like when I dug it by hand. So I had to build these retaining walls, which I'll build up scrap material and fill in the dirt so it's level with the rest of the Geo. And I'll have to do that on this side. And it didn't come out perfectly square. It's off by about a foot. So that side is square. So they'll be every 4 feet. And then this side I worked it out so it's like 4 feet, 6 inches, and so on to make up for it. So it'll be just a little bit scoliosis, but no one will know. You know, when you look at it, I don't think you'll really notice. It would be way too much work to, you know, make the whole square now and backfill and all that stuff. So it won't hurt really to just be a little bit off square. The snow's melting off the roof, and you can see all these areas where water's dripping down. And once I put in the real gutters, I won't be losing all of that water like I have been for 2 years. So I'll be collecting a lot more water. It'd be really awesome if you guys would subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions, and please vote for me down below for the Big Hero contest for a 1-year mule deer tag and $25,000. Before I wrap up the video, I just wanted to show you guys one piece of land. I was looking on discount lots and found a pretty nice piece of land. It's 40 acres. It's right next to Terlingua, Texas, which is similar to my homestead area. It's 3,000 feet in elevation, 40 acres. It's under $600 a month. So for 40 acres, this could be really ideal for somebody. We'll just take a peek at it. Here's the piece I found that's near Terlingua, Texas, that I found interesting. It's 40 acres in Alpine, Texas, expansive property in a quiet area. So $53,999 at just $629 a month. There's no credit check. So you could find a piece of property this size for a little less, but the value is in the fact that they will finance it for you and you don't need to have any credit. No down payment required, no commission, and no credit necessary. They have a description of the property, the GPS coordinates, and you can pull up the map right here. We're not going to spend a ton of time, but we'll zoom in a little bit just to kind of give you an idea what's around the area. So you can zoom in and out and get specific, like are there close stores by? Is there a lot of trees? And there are trees on the property, I checked, which is important for wind blockage and shade and whatnot. But this gives you an idea, the area. You can see that there's Interstate 10 right there. And if you got time, just hit the link and find the piece of property. Check it out. This is about 3,000 feet in elevation. No zoning, it says. There's no homeowners association. So that's really good. You don't want to have a piece of property and then have them tell you that you need to spend money every year and, you know, you can't have this or you can't do that. So that's a good thing to look for when you're buying a piece of property. They offer different payment plans so you can pay it off sooner. You could probably make a larger down payment, get it paid off sooner, all of those kind of things. Make sure you use my link below and use my code DLFrugal10 to save 10% off. Could you imagine getting 10% off of a piece of property like this? It's really a good deal. So check it out and we'll get back to the video. I might have to cut the video short. We'll see what happens. I was sliding the PVC over one end and there was so much tension, and there's these little 90-degree angles that are welded on, and the PVC was under a lot of pressure, and as I went to slide it on, it snapped and pushed my hand down into that thing, and it's pretty deep. Oh, it's the worst when you get a good one, you know? Like, I think it probably should have stitches, but I can't do that right now. You know what I mean? Oh. Always keep first aid close, my friends. I've got a kit here, and then I realized I needed gauze, and so I pulled out this kit because I had this. Where'd it go? Oh, there's this roll of gauze, you know. It's a Band-Aid isn't gonna do the trick on this one, so oh, it'll be fine. God, you know what sucks is I injured my finger to get it on that rebar, and then it fell off, so I'll have to do it again. I was hoping I could just walk over here and slide it on the other end and call it, but are you getting the picture? I put them on early so that now I'm going to still build up the walls and backfill, and I'll pull these up as I go to make them even. But this way they're more reinforced because they're kind of buried. So I'll build the mound up more, get these all even. And then once they're even, I'll use another piece of pipe to run down both sides, just like I did in the other, and I'll measure the bottoms exactly and then space that pipe that goes across the same to give them all very, you know, the equal, as square a spacing as possible, because it is a little out of whack. But then I can go ahead and frame in the 2x4s and get it wrapped. Now that I have the geo kind of set aside, I gotta check this out and make sure if I don't need stitches. If you don't like my meat videos, you probably won't like this one. So feel free to tune away. Ugh. God, I can't. It sucks because it's clear over here. I can't see it very well. I'm right-handed, and this is my right hand. Oh, part of my medical plan is to have some sort of basic knowledge of taking care of myself. I'm happy to see that it's kind of closed up already without glue or anything. It sure hurts though. It gives me good sting. Okay, you can see it like that. Oh, let's see. Try to get it so you can see it all right. So it's closed pretty good right this moment. I know that it's pretty deep because this whole finger and my pinky went numb when it happened, and I keep getting these pains, but I'm not sure. I kind of feel like I could probably wrap it and leave it. Maybe a little glue, because it's not like it's gashed open. You can see that you know, it's damaged not just the rip, but it rips down. You know, there's more to it's not just a laceration. So I'm just going to wrap it and let it be for now. If it was gashed open, I was just going to use some sutures and just, you know, put a simple suture through, tie it in a knot, you know, cut it and do like 3 of those. But I don't think that's necessary today, thankfully. This is where I'm at so far on the geothermal. So it was 16 feet long, now it's 32 feet long. That gives me room to pretty well grow, you know, some nice 30-foot, 30-inch deep beds. We'll see what happens with the aquaponic system at the other end here. I built up these little retaining walls with scrap material. They don't need to be super structural because most of the weight is on the backside here, and it'll kind of solidify. And then what'll happen is, now that I have these raised up about where I want them, I can put in some, you know, I'll put a PVC across that'll evenly space all of the PVC, and then I'll put a 2x4 on the outside and a 2x4 on the inside and pinch them together with blocks, and pinch all of the PVC together, and then I can pull the plastic down tight, and once the plastic's down tight, there's a 2x4 that's out here. By sandwiching another 2x4 down below it, it locks the plastic in kind of like that, and it pinches everything in place nice and tight. So I can do that on both sides. I'll frame in another kind of an A-frame like that on this end here, and then I'll run 2x4s across the top, tying everything together. And then I also put some 2x4s at an angle on the ends for structural integrity. And well, then I'll have the plastic cinched down real tight. I actually have to patch up there, which is unfortunate because I just patched that, but for some reason, I think it was the 60-mile-an-hour winds that were coming through, kind of ripped it loose, and I'll see what I can do to patch that hole. And in the worst case, I was thinking I could get like a really nice greenhouse tarp that has the nylon or polyester running through it, and stretch it over the top and then crank it down, and just so I can get through the winter. And then you know, well, as long as it'll hold up, really. And then once there's a problem, then I can just go ahead and, you know, do that end, or the next time I do the entire geo, I can just do one piece of plastic across the whole thing. So we'll see what happens, but it'll hold up. It won't be long before I get a gutter on the back side of this and on the other side of the shop, and I'll also be wrapping up this other water cistern here pretty quick. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, that way you won't miss these projects as they come up. Leave a comment if you have any questions, please. Check out my links below. Please vote for me for Big Hero. And if you want a piece of land, make sure that you check out the discount lot link. You can get 10% off of your piece of land with my code DLFrugal10, which is a huge discount if you buy, you know, a $40,000 piece of land, or even a $3,000 piece of land. So check that out, guys. Appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video.